Morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is a few minutes after 9 on October the 13th. We are having a scheduled electoral board meeting. There are three of us here. Jim Howman's gone over to see if the registrar can join us. So we're going to start.
Here he is.
There he is. Just said good morning, Jim.
Oh.
We're looking for an approval of the final agenda. I believe you had an addendum, Jim. I said that. What he said you can't see him. Jim's coming.
No, I don't have that.
Okay, so may I have an approval for the final agenda?
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Jim, you were going over to see if Debbie could join us. Is she coming or not?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just intend 15 minutes.
Okay. Then we will hold her report until later. Do we have any announcements from the board?
Not for me.
Jim? None for me, except that the staff, election manager is here. Everybody is in overdrive, going crazy, doing lots of work. Absentee ballots are coming back in. We get major deliveries from the Postal Service every day. There is an incredibly organized system in the registrar's office, which Ms. Wilson has established for receipt of those mailed out absentee ballots. Some registrations coming in. And training for the office election is progressing. Alex, would you like to give a report on cages?
Yeah, looks like we are going to go to a new vendor this time around for the cage delivery. So we're working on that estimate and everything right now.
Why are we going to a new vendor?
I can't discuss that in open session, but we are looking at different ways of delivery of how cages are delivered and set and everything like that. So.
That was nice. Nicely done, Mr. Branch. Nicely done. Our usual and customary standards for the electoral board is to offer time at the beginning of the meeting for public comment and also additional time throughout the meeting. If someone wants to make a comment, we ask that you raise your hand either electronically by going to the very bottom of your screen where it says reactions and hit the little button that raises your hand. If you're in the room, please just raise your hand. Always announce who you are and if you represent an organization. And I would like to welcome our able counsel, Ms. Ruge. There she is. Do you have any comments?
Morning.
Good morning. Do you
No,
have
ma'am.
anything to tell us this morning early?
Not this morning, no, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm so used to seeing you and I forgot to announce you last time until it was well into the meeting. So it's not that we don't appreciate you. It's just that you just kind of feel like one of the gang. Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Thank you. Do we have any comments from anybody? Yes, ma'am.
I'm not sure. Oh, Laurie Jones, the Democratic Party. I'm not sure if y'all have already done your ADA review, which maybe you would have seen this. So Red Hill had a bunch of construction.
Yes, ma'am.
With the ramps. And there was a question directed to me that I need to ask y'all about. Apparently, where the new ramps are, is where the Democratic campaign tent used to sit. And so they need a new location. And one of the suggestions was to put it in one of the spaces where they used to put a wooden ramp. Do you remember?
I do.
Yeah, okay, so they don't need that anymore. They have the other ramp system. And so there now will be empty spots where that wooden ramp was. So, obviously this doesn't have to be resolved today, but we need to know where we can put our tent.
The customary placement of the campaign tents, chairs, etc., is usually up to the chief at the precinct. The chief of the precinct works it out with the parties. or the independent candidates.
So I
So-
should contact, I don't have the contact
Okay,
information
we'll-
for the chief.
Do you need to set up before?
Well, they'll
Six-
want to know where they're gonna be, so there's not a lot of chaos that early
Okay.
in the morning, because they're gonna set up before the precinct opens,
Before-
and they're not gonna
in
want
the
to be in
dark,
there asking
In the
chief.
dark,
Right, and while the chief is busy with really important things, they don't
sure,
wanna, where's my
I can-
attendance?
I will get in touch with him.
Yeah, but you just,
Happy to do that. Happy to do that.
I can also give you the phone numbers for the chief and assistant chief.
however, that would be great, thank you.
Of course, as long as it's outside of the 40-foot line.
Well, of course, right, and that's, I haven't been out there to look at the new ramp system, I've just gotten an email,
Uh-huh.
somebody went out to look.
Did
at
they
it.
submit a picture for you?
No, I haven't seen it, I just got this morning, so. I
For
was
for
like,
the
oh.
primary, the guy was out there with the shovel,
Yes, he
digging away
was.
things, so it was.
Yeah,
it
yeah,
was No idea where it was gonna go from there.
right.
But the backhoe was definitely engaged. Okay,
If I can back up for a second, this was news to me. Alex says we're looking for a new contract for
I-
movers of the cages. That would go into executive session.
that's,
So we need to
What?
add that to executive session.
Yes.
Correct?
that's correct. I was actually asking him not so much about the delivery, but the filling of the cages.
That's going well too.
Thank you, thank you. Is there any other comment from the public? Seeing none. Jim, would you like to present minutes?
I have the October 6th minutes. I do not know whether you had a chance to review them.
I have not. When did they come in?
Yesterday,
I have, okay, good. Just,
I don't know what you want.
Can we just postpone those till next-
Postpone.
just postpone it, if it's all right with you, till we've all had a chance to read them. That's okay, Mr. Secretary.
Okay.
Okay. Whole business, speaking of ADA inspections, I have contacted the schools. I think we may be able to go with just the written documentation for the schools. They're getting me copies of that. I'm gonna go over that with the school system, and it may be that we can use the school system's ADA, because it would include all the doors and all the accesses. And then, Jim, if you could send everybody your wonderful roster of precincts, and if it's all right with the rest of you, we could use your usual roster for the precincts that each board member visits. I know it got changed last year, it got
Mhm.
changed for the primary.
Mhm.
Then we could each take 10.
Well,
And if we wanted to,
if the schools are gonna provide written
Exactly.
documentation, then we can not have to worry about the school.
yep, I think that's what we've got.
Uh,
County here, that'll take us down to 15 locations, I
Right.
think.
so I will send roster of polling places that are not
Not schools.
government, well, not government, because here we got Yancey, which was a school. It's still owned by Albemarle County government,
Yeah.
so it still would seemingly fall under that.
But the schools
But
won't
the
certify
schools,
it anymore.
the schools won't certify it. It's a,
Okay.
yeah. And I think I haven't been out and fully done an ADA inspection at Yancey's, but I think it probably will meet it.
Yeah.
Because it's pretty,
It's
Because it
on
was a
top of
school.
there.
but whoever gets that will have to see it. I will send you the ADA, I'll send the other two members the ADA form.
Okay.
I don't
good.
think you have to do the,
The 11-page one, I have a copy of it.
you,
A copy of it somewhere back there, but if you would send it again, that would be good.
okay. Then we can check it off.
And the the facilities management ADA person.
Yeah, there are two of them, a male and a female.
They are ready to hear from us.
They are.
How are we going to
Well,
coordinate that?
I got your schedules, your available dates, and I was gonna send that to them today.
Hmm.
And call them and speak with them.
Come in.
I'm sorry.
If that's, yes,
Need you. Sorry about that.
it's okay.
We need Debbie.
Okay. This should be the school.
The business of election.
The elections, in-person absentee, and I have a comment on that after we make this ADA. So Jim, you're gonna send us the list.
Mhm.
If you're lucky enough that you've got, maybe we ought to do this more, Camille, more fairly. Because somebody might have nothing but schools on their list. And I see.
Well, I was gonna send a list of the non-school.
Okay, that'd be, we'll just send the whole list. And then maybe put a star by the schools. We'll know who they are. So I don't want anybody to have to do their share. Just depends on how your geographic breakdown is. So that,
Well, you. Why would I send the list of the schools?
I would just send the whole list. You've got to send it anyway. I mean, you don't have to send it. We're asking you if you would, you're the keeper of the roster traditionally.
Okay.
So if you send it and then I'll get back to you with a statement on the schools. So we get something in writing from the schools. So we're covered. And then take care of 11-page document, although you don't have to do.
Right.
It's pertinent. You only need
It's
to.
true. There's a lot that doesn't pertain. If you don't have
Exactly.
one of these, you don't have to test one of these.
Exactly, exactly. And you don't have to test the doors or the walkways or anything else we don't use.
Problem solved.
The next on the agenda is the 5-day rule discussion. We're waiting for Debbie, so can we just go past that one to any other items?
I do have
Yes, sir.
another item. For want of a better thing to spend my time on, I played back the recording of our last meeting,
Okay,
just far enough to hear Rick Garnett speak. Rick is crystal clear on the recording.
It's
That's
all
amazing.
clear.
So it's getting to this computer crystal clear, but when it gets to the speaker in this room, it gets choppy.
Yes, the speaker.
that is very interesting.
So I think telling people to go slower or go faster isn't really going to change the performance of whatever's wrong with the speaker in this room.
Well, it didn't change the performance of the speaker. It just meant that if they were speaking more slowly or less rapidly, the staccato somehow, I could understand Rick much better when he spoke more slowly. It had nothing, I'm not saying that changes the electronics. But
I will put a note into IT today.
That'd be great.
Alerting them of the problem and asking if possibly they could have a look at it.
Thank you.
But there's Rick. Hand up.
Hand up, Rick, speak.
Can you hear me today?
No, we can't hear you. We can hear you. We are hearing the same sort of garbled staccato. So again, speak slowly.
But when I play you back on the recording, you'll be really clear. So I'll hear what you said then.
Okay, well, I was just wanting to see if you could hear me and also comment that today I can hear you perfectly well. You're not
Good.
breaking up. There's nothing wrong. So if there was a problem the other day within the systems, mine's working just fine now. So I think it's something at your end.
Yeah,
I agree.
no, I agree. It is
When
something
I'm
in our
on-
hand.
When I'm on Zoom.
Yep.
I can hear everybody just fine.
That's
I mean, not
amazing.
just in this room, but
But
Everybody.
fine, I can
Yep.
hear everybody fine. That's what I mentioned last meeting, yeah.
Um, Anne, can you unmute and just say good morning, state your name or something so we can hear you? Ann may not be there. Anybody else,
Did you mean Liz or Ann?
doesn't matter, whoever's speaking, speak.
Good
Who's
morning.
speaking? Good morning,
Liz.
Liz. Yeah,
I just typed that Rick can be heard very clearly on Zoom.
thank you, and so can you.
Well, shit, there's a
Well,
little.
it's a little bit, but it's not, the garble is not as garbled when you're speaking. But it's not Rick, it's just interesting. Okay. Bucky's gonna talk to IT and see if we can get it, if they can get it straightened out. Ms. Wilson,
Yes, ma'am.
would you like to give some updates this morning on whatever's going on in your registrations office? And Bucky specifically has a question about the 5-day rule.
It's Jim.
Jim, excuse me, Jim, thank you. Jim, you want to ask your question?
Well, if you wanna.
As far as in the office, we're moving right along, processing, we're caught up to date on everything that's come in. And they will be starting the pre-processing tomorrow, is that?
Yes,
correct?
Tuesday afternoon.
Because we have over 2,000 already. And basically they can process 1,000 at a time, so we figured we're a good starting point to get the pre-processing going. We have 2 new employees that are gotten theirs access and are able to start processing in there, so we're staying ahead of the game. And basically, you had the numbers, didn't you?
I just have the, what we closed there.
Okay, I didn't bring the numbers. I'm sorry, I was working right up until, but with the Dropbox has really dropped down. We're at 20 to 40 a day now.
And we're over 6,000 EIP, right?
In person.
And the mail has dropped off a little too. That was coming in
Be
at
loudly for our listeners at home.
sorry, that was coming in at about 500 a day, and we're now down around 200 the last couple days. So we don't get any mail today. So tomorrow should be a big day.
And I think last week, the end of maybe Friday morning, you'd had over 2,500 returned in-person absentee. Excuse me, mailed out.
Right. And they, they're coming in and everything's going very smoothly.
And I would like to thank you and your staff and your office for having absolutely accurate, crisp numbers. Very important for the keep saying in person, for the mailed out pre-processing. That's been a problem in the past, getting correct numbers, so they can predict how often they need to meet.
Right.
Thank you.
We're good. We're doing.
Thank you.
Okay, and your question, Jim.
Okay, the 5-day rule. Since there was no UVA football game on Saturday, I spent most of Saturday researching the 5-day issue. And my research consisted of having my nose in the code for at least a half an hour or more, trying to find sections that are unfindable, and talking to Jake Washburn, our former registrar, and talking to Lisa Jeffers, the registrar in Waynesboro. I didn't want to bother you. I thought you needed
I'm fine.
a weekend off. So I had a long talk with Lisa. Back in 2008, just according to Lisa, I guess registrars were squawking about the fact that people were coming in, registering to vote and applying for an absentee ballot to vote right then. And most people had touchscreen machines, so you voted, you voted. And then the person would have been sent a voter card, and the voter card came back undeliverable. And so somebody, I don't know whether it was the State Board of Elections or the General Assembly, said, okay, we will have a 5-day waiting period. That will give time for the registrar to send the voter card to the voter and have it returned undeliverable if it's returned undeliverable. Well, that was 2008. As we know, that would not work with the post office these days. That turnaround would not happen in 5 days. But this
That's sad when you think about it.
but this 5 day waiting period has remained there, saying that if somebody has not ever registered in Virginia and they register, they are not official and can't vote until 5 days after they have been entered in Veris. That is my understanding of it. I cannot find it in the code. What I can find in the code is a section that the whole section is entitled Application for Absentee Ballot. And the fourth paragraph
What
says
section are you reading?
701.
24.2, 701. Yep.
An application that is completed in person at the same time that the applicant registers to vote shall be held and processed no sooner than the 5th day after the date that the applicant registered to vote. However, this requirement shall not be applicable to
It doesn't
overseas
apply
military.
To military.
So that's the only place in the code. There should be some other place. I looked through the ordinances, found all sorts of interesting things in the ordinances about if a line cuts through your house, you get registered where your bed is.
Right.
Which I've always thought was common sense, but I didn't know it was actually
It's in the
where it
code.
is, but it is. But I didn't find anything else.
That's the place
5 day rule.
addressed there. In Veris, when you enter that person,
Hmm.
it comes up with a red flag that says AB wait period. So it's automatically flagged. We don't make that decision. It's made by their.
Now, an interesting conundrum, according to Lisa, which she found out, is if you register in the state's online system, which requires you to put in your Virginia driver's license number, not sure what that has to do with it, but I think I know, that 5 day rule does not apply. And she says she's actually had people come into her office wanting to register and vote the same day, and she has them sit down in front of a computer and apply online so that they can avoid the 5 day rule, which is an interesting conundrum with the system.
Jim, let me explain the use of the driver's license ID number, because I was on the state board when we made that decision. The Code of Virginia says that when you apply to register to vote, you must sign the documentation. Well, there are very few people that have authenticated signatures which they can use online. The average person does not have that.
Mhm.
However, when you apply for a driver's license, you sign a wet signature. And so when an application to register to vote or to request an absentee ballot, you have to sign it. If you put your ID, your driver's ID, and transmit that electronically, then the Commonwealth Department of Elections transmits your application to the DMV. They affix your wet signature, and then it's transferred back. That's the genesis of using the ID, the driver's ID, because it gives you a wet signature, which the code requires.
And that signature is captured in Veris. So we have that.
Still not quite sure why that affects the 5 day rule, but it does.
You would think logically, which doesn't necessarily always apply.
No.
That if you used your driver's license as your ID for that registration, that would have the same effect as entering your driver's license.
Mhm.
But clearly it does not.
So that's one conundrum. A second conundrum, and I believe I have my dates right, but I may be off by a day. If you came in here October 24th, which I think is the last day the books are open, and you had not registered in Virginia, and you wanted to vote, and you registered, filled out a registration application, you would have to wait 5 days before you could vote and come back and vote. But if you came in on October 25th, day after the books closed, And now we're in the same day registration period. You can do a same day registration and vote right there, and you're done. One-stop shopping. So that is a conundrum to me because
Be provisional.
it's a
provisional.
provisional, but it would be one that
You don't need to come back. In that
you don't
sense.
need to come back. And obviously, by the time we adjudicate that, the voter will have been sent a voter card,
Well,
assuming that it,
5 days would be through.
I mean, it
It's
was
counted.
much longer than 5 days because we're not
Right.
adjudicating those until November 6th or somewhere along there. So that, I think, is another conundrum that that person that comes when
Yeah.
registration is still open, hang on, has to come back, whereas the person that comes after registration is closed does not have to come back. But that is the law.
well,
Okay.
that is the citation in the code, that is the law. Because the registrar has to be able to clear that application in Veris. And we don't do provisional ballots in Albemarle because we follow the law, contrary to what other localities may do. The registrar has to make sure before that person's provisional ballot can count that Albemarle County is the most recent
Mhm.
place where that person is registered. So thus, the registrar has to submit all of the provisional ballot information, all of these same day registrations into Veris no later than 5 or 5:30, unless they've changed it this year,
5 o'clock.
5 o'clock on Friday afternoon. And then Veris assimilates
Yeah.
all of those to make sure that the most recent registration is the one that counts. So that if someone registered or was registered to vote in Nottaway, and then they moved or they went to Chesterfield and they registered in Chesterfield and did a provisional ballot. And then later in the system, they came to Albemarle
Yeah.
and did the Albemarle registration counts because it's the most recent registration. But the first absentee ballot, provisional ballot, counts because they've already voted. And that's what the registrars have to do with Veris. And so that's why we can't accept or reject provisional ballots and same day registrations until Monday.
But I'm really looking at the case of somebody who's never been registered before anywhere. And so that brings us,
You know, if you wait a day to buy that washing machine, it'll be on sale tomorrow and
Labor
you
Day
get a
sale.
better deal.
so that brings us to a situation we had last week. That's what spawned my research into this. Situation, as I understand it, and most of this is secondhand, so correct me if I'm wrong. Thursday, young woman comes in with her mother. She wants to register to vote and vote. She has never been registered before. She lives here with her family. However, she goes to college, I believe, in Tennessee. She was home for a long weekend. She comes in Thursday. She registers and she's told, you need to come back tomorrow in order to vote. She comes back tomorrow, which was Friday. She's in the system now because she was put in the system the evening before. But when she comes up on the screen, it says hold, and then some other language I don't remember, but it has hold. So she's taken up to the office, which tells her, no, actually, you have to wait 5 days. So you cannot vote until next Tuesday. And she says, I'm going back to college on Sunday, I think it was. So there's no way I can come back on Tuesday. I believe she was encouraged then to apply for an absentee ballot. Whether she did or not, I do not know.
That's her only remedy under the
That's-
law.
Exactly.
Is it?
Yes.
Discussed this with Lisa.
Okay.
Around a long time. I said, why could we not give that woman a provisional ballot? Not a same-day registration, but a provisional ballot. Provisional ballots started out being a thing that you could give anybody for any reason to get them out of your hair, basically.
When in doubt, hand
You're
it
thinking
out.
You've come up with the reason 6, aren't you?
Other,
You're thinking.
that
you've come up
other
with
that we
reason
never
6.
can figure out what would go in there. And Lisa agreed with me. Yeah, I think you could have given her a provisional and coded it as an other. So I am wondering if anybody has any reason why that could not happen. Should this kind of case come up again, where somebody can't sit around for the 5 days?
It'd be 5 days to vote on the machine, or vote a reason 6 other provisional ballot with the description of why this is a reason 6 other.
You have to include what the reason
Yeah.
is.
This would be before same-day registration starts.
Of course, would not apply on election day, so we shouldn't see any of these coming out of the other polling places. That sounds like a reasonable approach to me.
Yep, it would be. I mean, because that's what the provisional ballot is for, to address issues that would be like this. one.
Otherwise, the voter would be disenfranchised by not getting to vote, of course, assuming for some reason absentee voting wasn't acceptable to them.
And being close to the end and dealing with the postal service.
But in this case, this particular voter that you've just described, or any voter that came in under similar circumstances, could be given an absentee ballot when they came in later and put it in the drop box, if it were a provisional ballot.
Mhm.
They can't vote. They can't vote. You were talking about absentee ballots earlier. They can't vote in a regular, they can't be given an absentee ballot.
No, it has to be
Mailed,
mailed.
understand. So, finish my sentence. It has to be mailed.
Well, this would
So it could be
kind of
mailed
bypass the whole
and
mail issue
understand.
by having them do a provisional ballot on site right
And
then.
the last day to request a mailed out absentee ballot is 10 days before the election.
Same day as closing.
So this woman who came in on Thursday could have filled out her voter registration form,
Which she did,
which she did.
and she's in the system.
And then she could have requested an absentee ballot be mailed to her.
Mhm.
So she could vote it, mail it back.
But I believe I'm hearing that going the provisional ballot would be an acceptable way to handle it.
Well, anytime you anytime you give someone a provisional ballot, it's obvious it's going to come to you all and you're gonna make that decision in the end. So yes, we always can offer a provisional ballot, no matter what the circumstances are, because that's what they're for.
All right, so I think we're in agreement on that. I want to get back to the question of where in the hell in here?
You just read it.
it's in
I think you
seven.
just,
Only one.
you just read it.
only needs to be said once.
But it's only in the section on application for absentee ballot. It's not in the section on
They can-
regular voter registration.
When the same day registration voting, and I was there for all of the discussions, was enacted in 2020 General Assembly with a delayed it was passed and signed with a delayed enactment for October 2022. That was the same day registration citation. And that's where they put that particular part.
Now,
Well, I think this is kind of a vestige of the old system because this way predated same day registration, early in person, absentee, no excuse.
there's a lot of little
There's a-
vestiges in the code.
And it's just kind of left
The-
hanging there and
We gotta follow it.
The code committee meets on a regular basis and different sections of the code are reviewed. I agree with you, the
sometime soon,
section-
24.2 is supposed to come out.
It's been about 10 years since it was done, 7 or 8 years. I was there. And so
And
For instance,
I've
there's
been
still
around
a
long
section-
enough to remember 24.1.
for you, it's not applicable anymore. There's still a section in the code.
As long as it's code, it's going
Exactly.
to show up in Veris, and Veris is going to flag that and say AB waiting. I mean, we can't change anything about that.
Or should you?
But it also refers to anyone who's not the least bit involved with the absentee ballot. They're just registering to vote. There's still a 5-day waiting period before they could come in and vote early in person.
According to the Code of Virginia, which is the
That's
law.
why we stopped the register and vote on the same day thing that they were doing last year. That it has to go into our system in order to funnel out issues like that. We have to make sure, that's what it used to be. Apparently last year they could register and then they'd come up to the office and they were told they could go ahead and vote
Immediately
immediately
on the
But-
machine.
on the machine, but that you know, you can't check somebody into the machine, into the poll pad if it is not, if their name isn't on there. And their name isn't on there until it's been loaded overnight or first thing in the morning for the next day. So,
When it's loaded, it
says
says
hold.
5-day hold.
and it will put a hold on somebody like that, yeah.
If
Well,
in-
Lori had questioned, is this,
Well, we're gonna talk to elect, I mean, my party's talking to elect about it, because that law is absentee, I mean, I understand they put a hold on it, there's
You
nothing
can't-
we can do in Albemarle County.
Can't override it.
But that law does not say anything about in-person voting. That law is about absentee ballot voting, so somebody has misapplied the law somewhere down the line at some point. Not us, but someone, and so we're gonna get some guidance from elect. on it.
But the in-person voting is a flavor of absentee voting. It's just absentee in
But
person.
if you read that portion of the code, it specifically says when someone applies for an absentee ballot.
But
But you have to read the law the way, and the way it's written is when somebody comes in and registers and applies for an absentee ballot, there's a 5-day wait. Totally understand that. That has nothing to do with somebody coming in and registering in person. That law doesn't. There might be somewhere else that Jim and I can't find. But that is not what that section of the law says.
it does actually, Lori, because wait, the definition of absentee voting means the voter is absent from election day. They are not voting on election day. They are voting before election day. They are absent from that's the definition of
So
absent.
that's everybody who's voting today?
Yes,
Absentee.
they are voting,
Absentee.
the term is in-person absentee voting,
But this says.
not early voting. That's a nice way.
Application.
It is, that's what you're doing.
So when I go in and register to vote today, I mean, if I go in to vote today on the poll book, I am applying to vote
Absentee.
absentee. That's,
Technically, yes.
I don't
The
think that's
streamlined
correct.
process.
But we'll see. Elect is gonna help us out,
I'm sure.
and give
Okay.
us some guidance.
and we do need to wrap up this conversation because we have a 9:45
Yep.
job interview. So
Is there,
we need to move on
we've got,
anyway.
we have the registrar here. Madam Registrar, do you have anything else you would like to offer?
I do not.
Okay,
But a takeaway is we should be looking at our registration statement, how many people are registered, how many people came off the rolls. those
You want
kinds of
that?
things.
The registry.
It'd be great to have that for our next.
Okay,
Thank you.
that's changing rapidly.
Every day, yeah.
And we do receive quite a few registrations that are, people are registering in other localities that are canceling absentee requests. And we're mailing those letters out.
that's interesting. Could you repeat that again?
When someone registers at another locality, it cancels their absentee request for us or cancels their permanent request from us. So if they have submitted a ballot to us, that ballot is null and void. They have registered, say in Charlottesville, they need to vote in Charlottesville, but they receive a letter that says that.
The other part of that is you are receiving numbers. I'm not sure how to define large numbers, but
Mhm.
large numbers of returned undeliverables in your mailed out absentee ballots.
Um, again, the list we worked from was not something we had compiled right before we mailed them out. So there could have been, I know there were inactives and things on that list, but we had to, because of the time frame, we had to mail everything that was on our list to start with. So we now have, but having received those back, we go in, put them on confirmation. They go off the permanent list.
Okay, can we,
Jim, I think Bucky's answering a question. If we could try to not talk over each other. Bucky,
I'm
you
just
have-
saying we have a Zoom meeting
Yes.
scheduled for
I
9:45.
understand, but
So-
Bucky, we're in our meeting and Bucky has a question.
Rick Garnett's had his hand
Oh,
up
I'm
for a while. I
sorry.
just don't know if he.
Rick, is that a new hand or is that left over?
Yes, true. Just very quick feedback. I've observed several times on this issue. I've observed several times that the chief has told people they came in to register and he said, you can come back tomorrow or in a couple of days. Did not quote any kind of 5-day limitation, just to let you know.
Thank you.
Sounds like a training point.
Thank you.
Yes, sounds like some advice to the chiefs would be helpful.
Thank you. Okay, do we have, yes, ma'am. Do you have anything else you'd like to offer? Would you like to leave and go back to your
Yes, I would.
appointed duties? Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, please.
Thanks, Debbie.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Do we have any other items? Okay, we need to schedule our next meeting. We already have a scheduled meeting on Thursday, Friday, excuse me.
Thursday, we're doing LAT.
Wanna put one on the books for Monday morning?
I think that's probably a good idea. Thank you, Andrea. We are putting a new meeting on for Monday, 1 week from today.
If we're meeting Friday, Monday's kind of soon.
And our meeting Friday morning is at
9.
9, correct?
Mhm.
Yes, that's what I have.
If you look at the other business on the calendar next week, Monday may be the only opportunity we have based on Alex's grinning, laughing, and nodding.
Wednesday.
Not next week, the week following is where we are now. We're looking at the week of the 20th.
That's correct.
So,
So 21st, we have full pad hands-on training.
correct.
Starting at 10.
22nd, we don't have.
That evening, but not during the day.
Right. 23rd, we don't have.
And we casually mentioned we were not discussing board business, we were discussing training. Our able counselor is grinning behind her hand.
I would
See
suggest
ya.
either 22nd or 23rd.
The reason I suggested Monday was just trying to keep the registrar
Yep.
hiring process moving as quickly as we could.
Yep.
I understand you're, if I get it, you're suggesting that maybe we won't really have anything else to consider going from Friday to Monday. Is that where you are?
Yeah. Friday will be considering the hiring process. But if you want to do Monday,
I would just love to be in a situation where we're going, yes, let's make that offer and hammer out the
Mhm.
details.
well, let's go ahead and schedule one for Monday, and if we don't need it, we can cancel. 9:30.
Sure,
9:30 is fine with me.
30 is good.
Okay.
Okay, now another item. We discussed doing same-day registration and in-person absentee voting so that so our Office of Election will be adequately educated before they go into the polls on election day.
Mhm.
I had suggested 3 meetings, the same as we're doing poll pads. Bucky's, and I think it's a good suggestion, suggested that maybe we could get by with just 2 meetings on 2 days, on separate weeks. So we do a 1 o'clock and a 3 o'clock. Or a 1 o'clock and a 6 o'clock,
Yeah.
excuse me, so the evening. 1 o'clock and a 6 o'clock.
Fine today.
The 24th and then the following two.
I think that was what
Because I've
we
already sent out that.
discussed that.
You've sent something out
The
already?
20, it was a suggestion. So we're looking at the 24th for 1 PM and 6 PM. And then,
6 PM on Friday.
because you need, you
You're
need,
not gonna get anybody at 6 PM on Friday.
Just trying to reach folks who aren't available during the business day.
actually, there are officers of election who work for a living. I know that may seem strange, but they do,
Yeah,
and they can't come during the day.
If nobody comes, we don't have to give the class.
Exactly.
give the class at 1 PM on Friday and then 6 PM on Sunday the next week.
We need to have more than that, because hopefully we will have a good turnout on this. We did last year. And the potential for having even more need this year, I think, is great. So I would suggest that we do a Friday 1 and 6. If you don't want to be Jim, if you don't need to come, that's fine. Okay,
But did you send something out to that effect?
yes,
1 PM and 6 PM on
Also at 10 o'clock too, just.
cancel is 10 o'clock.
So what did you send out?
I just reiterated, we have 24th at 1 and 6, and then the 28th, we were gonna do 1 and 6.
Because those were the days when we didn't have any other major training or other specific jobs that required.
Okay.
So both the 24th and the 28th are 1 and 6.
All right.
Got it. Alex,
Thank you.
good job getting that notice out early.
Thank you. Okay, any other items before we go into executive session?
Let's go into executive session, please.
Board now goes into executive session pursuant to code section 2.2-3700, parentheses A. We are going to discuss only those things. Review of registrar applications and personnel matters. The only people in the room to begin with will be the 3 board members and Alex Branch, the election manager, for discussions of pertinent, and then we will have the applicants.
We need to add to that discussion of contracts.
That's personnel and contract. Finance, I think it's finance.
Contractual matters.
Okay.
But
We're,
but we need to interview this man because he is waiting because we said that.
yes, ma'am.
The code section for the contracts piece for your motion, it's 2.2-3711, section 29.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I suggest we go to the interview and then.
And
ask Alex.
we will go, Alex will give you a call. Is that okay? Thank
So
you.
we're going to,
We are now in executive session.
As of